Okay, I've got your questions. Wanda wants to know, how do you keep track of your health? Hi Wanda, thank you so much for the question. It comes at a perfect time. Keeping track of my health has always been a combination of things. I visit the doctor, and it used to be the student center where I used to get the services free. Now I don't get them free anymore, so I haven't done any of this. But I would go to the student center, I would get my triglycerides, so get my sugar checked, get my cholesterol checked, and then I'd go to a path lab. And because I'm in science, it was very easy for me to just get somebody in the next lab to do it for me. I would get them to do my my B12, so basically checking if I have any deficiencies. And then they would do my B12, my folic acid, my iron, all of these things. And then I would also do the skin pinch test to basically determine how much fat is in my skin. And they would always calculate my weight, my waist to hip ratio. As I've gained weight, it was not useful to me before, the waist to hip ratio, when calculating my body measurements like the BMI and so forth. But as I have gotten bigger, the waist to hip ratio has become imperative, because I know that I am off by how much, because it was consistent for a number of years. It was consistent for like 6 years, and then in the past 2 years it's just gone crazy. So I actually now have a reference to say this is what my average waist to hip ratio, give take a few, should be. So yeah, that's how I keep track of my health. You get your blood work done, you get your vitals checked, you get your BMI calculated. You can do this at a gym with biokinetics there, or you could do it at Path Lab, where you could just go in and get your blood taken and tick what you want to be checked. But yeah, lifestyle modulation it's pretty simple. These days you even have apps where you can plug in stuff, and then they tell you how you're faring in terms of people your age, your height, and your weight. So yeah, that's how I check my health. Also, when you donate blood, not sponsored, you get your free iron test. So they check your iron. Yeah, do with that what you will. Somebody wants to know how I became plant-based. I really wanted to do a video on this, I really did, but I haven't done one, and it's not in the pipeline, so I don't know. I became plant-based basically because of two major factors. One, as I was studying, it became pretty clear to me that humans were not made to eat meat, to eat animal products. Okay, so as we're studying the GIT, as we're studying digestion, yeah, and I was taught when I was studying, it was when Tim Noakes was major, and he was one of our physiology lecturers. Well, not lecturer, I think he was a guest lecturer. So he did a little bit of the gut with us, and then him and our lecturer at the time, Professor Theo Now, they had like a little tip, because Theo doesn't believe in the ketonic diet, and then Theo believes in holistic, and Theo lost 20 kilograms eating a holistic diet, and I think he was vegetarian for a while. Anyway, not part of the story, but anyway, so health-wise, it was really rigorous studying that led me to that decision. Also, faith-wise, at the time I had just discovered the biblical diet. At the time, I do remember feeling greatly convicted to go back to the Bible and actually ask God the questions and discover His plans. If ever right now my car breaks down, I'm not gonna go to my mom to find out what's wrong with the car. I'm gonna go to the manual, right? And not just the manual, if I can, I'm gonna contact the manufacturer. So that's what I did in terms of the body. I truly believe God created me and you wonderfully and fearfully. And so everything about us is intentional. Everything about us is planned. So yeah, I went back to the Bible and I found out that the first diet God ever gave man was fruits, grains, nuts, and seeds. So that's what I eat, including vegetables, because it's a lot. I'm plant-based, that's all you need to know. So that's how I became plant-based. It was my faith and my work marrying together in a really beautiful way, and I pray that I continue to glorify God in this way by eating plant-based. The next question is, how many human sacrifices did it take for me to get perfect skin? This is one of those questions I wasn't really happy with, because I feel like you guys dryela me too much. So I don't have perfect skin. Honestly, you just can't see it through the camera. But I do have, I'd say, very low maintenance, non-problematic skin. That said, you can see right now, my nose is very oily. Woo! And I have hyperpigmentation in some places. But it's not hectic. So I don't know, it's not perfection. I think it's a combination of diet, hygiene, and good genes. Okay? Yeah, I don't have any major product recommendations. Vanolia, I think, yeah, Vanolia is our second last question, and she wants to know, how has not being able to physically attend church affected your spiritual life? If so, how? Hi Vinny, thank you so much for asking. This one, it's tricky. So not going to church has, for me, been great. I don't know. I really love my church folk, but I love the freedom with which Corona has brought in terms of spirituality. I literally study what I want, and I can study it for as long as I want. With church and with Wednesday prayer meeting, I've always felt like I have to break up my week. So if I'm studying, let's say, the book of Amos chapter 7, right? Then I work on Amos chapter 7 from Sunday to Wednesday, and then Wednesday I have to skip it because I'm studying whatever we're doing in Wednesday prayer meeting, and then from Thursday and Friday I can study a little bit of Amos, and then I have to skip it because the Sabbath is here, and then on Sunday again. So that wasn't working for me. I was actually able to study a whole book in the Bible because of COVID and no interruptions through my week and just a consistent devotional schedule. So that's what I did. I finished the book of Amos, and now I've gone back to the book of James, which I love, and I'm rereading that because I really need the assurance and the promises in that book and the practical Christianity, because your girl going through the most, like, no lies. So yeah, that's how church post-COVID has been for me. Konnichiwa. Is that even what you say? This is so good. Anyway, I've lost focus now because food. Woo. So I hope you can see that. It's just a little, can you see? So yeah, spiritually COVID, it's been an adjustment, but I've been okay. I miss singing the most, and I miss communal worship. I miss hearing other people's opinions about what's going on in the world, about what God is saying to them, about what they're reading. So yeah, in terms of that aspect of it, the fellowship aspect, I really, really miss fellowship. But I can't say COVID has been all bad for me. And the last question is from Asanda Ditra. I hope I said it correctly. Asanda wants to know what advice I would give on marriage. Wow, Asanda, first lesson right off the bat, and what's been the biggest for me has been that we are not to prioritize our feelings. That is very true, because feelings are not reality. It goes without saying. However, you cannot ignore your feelings. You cannot shove them down and hope they go away and just focus solely on principle. That doesn't work for marriage. You need to address the feelings and you need to address the principles. And in your decisions, you need to make sure you are fulfilling the criteria of both. Otherwise, if you depend solely on feelings but no principle, you have a relationship that is full of passion and emotion and romance but lacks stability, lacks trust, lacks respect, and it lacks boundaries because you didn't depend on the principles, or you didn't institute the principles to begin with. And then if you, on the other hand, have a relationship that is solely based on principles without the feelings, you end up in sort of an arranged marriage where by principle and by value you are present, but by feeling you are not. So you got to be honest with yourself, and yeah, that's what I've learned so far in terms of marriage and choosing a partner. And yeah, is that marriage is what you're gonna make of it, okay? So some people want marriages where they sleep in the same rooms. Some people want marriages where the wife is working and the husband is not. Some people want marriages where there's one car or two cars. Some people want marriages where there's 10 kids. Some people want marriages with one child. Some people want marriages or families where there's vacation. Some people want marriages or families that are completely secluded and where it's just them. Marriage is going to be what you make it. The one thing I think that has annoyed me to date is the assumption that I want the same thing as the next person. It absolutely drives me AWOL. And it's made things difficult between me and some of my friends, because then they'll be like, no, but that's not marriage. I'm like, no, that's not the marriage you want. Please, girl. So it's like, you can see it even very easily riles me up. So yeah, I'd say marriage is what you're gonna make it with the partner that you have. Some people want husbands that don't cook. Some people do, you know. Some people want husbands that don't clean. Some people do. Some people want wives that don't work. Some people do. So it's gonna be what you make it, and don't fall under the pressure of molding your family, your values, your traditions to those of the family you were raised in, or to those of Jada and Will, you know, couples who you see on TV and you think they're couple goals. Do you, boo? That's basically all I can say. But thank you so much for every single question I've received. I truly do hope and pray that I've in some way impacted or influenced or just given you a piece of myself, and that that piece of me is received. And I also hope that, yeah, you have enjoyed your time here and it was worth your data. Thank you so much, friends and family. Have a lovely, lovely day, and until we meet again.